Tune in my
Oh,
head.
yeah, we are live now with Dr. Carrie Rose dancing in the background. Hey, welcome everybody to a Wednesday hump day edition of Rise Up the Show. And today, man, I just kind of want to get right into it because it's all about how to start your first course or how to start a course. More importantly, even if should you even make a course, and is there an audience and a topic that's going to actually buy your course? So I brought on today my good friend, Dr. Carrie Rose. She is the brains behind many amazing courses. I know one is Anthony Trucks, our mutual friend. Dr. Carrie Rose, welcome to the show.
I'd say I'm a co-collaborator brains behind it because, there's always that other set whenever we're creating anything. So yeah, anyways, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. As always, my homie. His nickname on my Facebook messages is my homie. So when I say my homie, I mean it.
Love it. And Carrie and I met, man, 3 years ago at 2 years ago?
My two, was it? I think it was 2. Yeah. The 2-year anniversary just came up on my Facebook feed and I was like, it's only been that long.
That's right. 2 years ago.
Yeah. I feel like you were instant friend, just add water though. So it's all of a sudden you're my new brother.
There we go. I love it. Go ahead.
It was perfect too, because I didn't have to. I was honored to get to present and hang out in the VIP room at Anthony Trucks' event, and because I was a speaker there, and you got to take LaShawn to Hooters. So it was perfect. I was like, okay, bye guys. I'll be over here. Y'all do your thing over there.
Little Hooters with LaShawn. It was fun.
Yeah, fried pickles. I know what it's all about, guys. It's just the fried pickles. Yeah.
Fried pickles. I wanted to jump right into kind of your backstory, because I mean you have an education background, and your degree, your doctorate is all in education.
Yeah.
And you were able to take that information and that knowledge and really break down how people learn, and now have created this whole course creation methodology on how to put courses together that get these high completion rates. I want to talk a little bit about that. What in those learnings or in those years learning, what have you identified that helps people finish a course? As a course creator, what needs to be in a course that will allow someone to finish the course?
Yeah, so there's a lot of questions in there, Colin. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna try to call over.
I'm doing this thing, so I'm ready to go.
I've had no caffeine. I'm like, all right, let's just do this. Tons of water in my green smoothie.
We know why. Well, we know what you did last night.
I did not have caffeine, is what I'm saying. No caffeine. I'm just running with it. I'm high on life, brother. So, okay, yeah, let's go back. So when I was young, I witnessed something that was pretty traumatic. I don't need to get into the details with you, but I had something as a result called selective mutism. So basically, I didn't speak for about 6 years of my life. I could speak. I did some, but not I picture the shyest person you've ever known and then multiply that by 100, and you probably got where I was at. So that combined with my dyslexia, I didn't learn how to read like everyone else did. And I entered 5th grade just kind of this quiet shell and just been passed along grade after grade because it was the 80s and people did that back then. Now I would have been held back twice, but I was just passed along. And I went to Allen Elementary School in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I had Mrs. D. Taylor as my 5th grade teacher. And she took me from that to the highest standardized test score that school had seen in 1 year's time. Yeah. So it's it's an incredible difference, right? And every time I think about it, I have her picture actually. It's in my cabinet across the room. I have my 5th grade class picture. When I pull it out, sometimes I'm like, thank God for you. Just thank God for you, because I wouldn't have been that without her. I wouldn't be this without her. But what it really taught me was the power that we all have to make a positive impact on each other if we care and if we know the right strategies to use. Right? Because it's a combination of both. And I don't know where the other teachers didn't quite get it for me, but I know the heart that she had, and I know the work that she put in, and I know the results. So for me, I was that was my primary lesson from that experience. And it's been a really beautiful lesson to carry with me. I ended up working for 10 years in public education, primarily in schools with high percentages of students from low socioeconomic backgrounds. So if you imagine the kind of kids that go home on Friday and you're not sure if they're getting fed till Monday morning, it was that kind of environment. And I really wanted to save everybody. I had a supreme hero complex at the time, right? But I was like, give me every baby that needs anything. Let me take care of them. And so I got them. And one class I had a fourth grade class. I usually taught kindergarten and first, but I took a fourth grade class, and we had 7 classes, and they were leveled. So they were leveled according to their performance levels on the test from the year prior. So I had the bottom performing class out of 7 classes of fourth graders at a school where it was a lot harder for them to get results, right? And one thing about the state of Florida is we build prisons based on the number of low performing third graders. So like, that's the kind of stakes you're looking at. Yeah, but it's trajectory data. You can actually, like, you can say where it's going to happen, right? So knowing that, I was like, okay, how do I save this group of kids? And I went all in and did everything I could think of. Like, I just researched strategy. Like, what can I do for them? And gave it all of my heart. And we created the greatest learning gains that school had ever seen in that classroom. And I was like, I want to do this right here, but on a much larger scale, because I was like, I can help people, but right now I can only help people inside of this classroom. I can't in 20 a year until infinity, right? Or until I die or retire, whatever it is, right? But it wasn't enough for me. So I decided to go get my doctorate in ed leadership. And I was like thinking I'm going to work for the Department of Ed, state or federal level, but there's like a lot of red tape and stuff. And I'm a fun person. So I was like, this isn't it. So I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And I'm writing my dissertation on professional development. I go out with a friend to a World of Beer one night, and in walk 3 internet marketers. And I'll tell you, if you want divine intervention, you just go to where craft beers are sold, because you'll find it, And these guys came in and they said stuff to me like, I was like, what do you do? And they're like, oh, well, I do SEO, or I do internet marketing, or I do online marketing, or I do affiliate marketing. And I was just like, what the freak are you talking about? I don't understand what you're saying. And it's probably like, if you're just now hearing about online marketing, or you're just now hearing about online courses, you're probably in that space. Or maybe you can think back and you remember what you were like, what? People make money online? What? I don't even get it. Like, it's so far out of what I was thinking about at the time. But I was lucky enough that one of them really took an interest in me and decided to mentor me and like really look after me and show me online course after online course after online course. And it was a great gift to learn online marketing. But at the same time, I started seeing like, these aren't really done well. Like, I was looking at them like, I'm like, thank God I'm smart and I write fast, was what I usually say about it, because they weren't really hitting the human brain the way that they need to in order to make an impact. And what I've noticed over the years since I've left public ed, since I went out on my own, since I started working in the space and creating online courses, is I can go into most any course online and evaluate it and go, yeah, about 20% of the learners are going to actually be impacted by it. So it's pretty powerful when you know what you're looking for. But so what I did is I created a process called the Course Creator Method that's based on over 500 research studies on how the human brain connects to content. And when we build our online courses, we build it through that process to this day. It's still the foundation of everything we do. But then I started to notice, and this is where you're talking about, you asked about course completion rates too. So I'm like, okay, so there's that now. Let's add that in. I'm getting to it, Khaled. So online courses are a $255 billion industry with the B, guys. So $255 billion. It's up from $107 billion 2 years ago. Well, actually now 3 years. So that the 255 was 2017 numbers. 107 was 2015 numbers. Okay. So it's growing. This isn't a space where you're like, oh, I missed the boat on these online courses thing. No, it's fine. You swim. Come on. And get in it, and what I found when I started diving deeper into it is these courses have about a 3 to 5% completion rate on average. So people that get into it, only about 3 to 5% of them finish the courses. And I've had clients get up to 96% completion. So what I saw was like, okay, there's a huge difference between what we are accepting as normal and what's actually possible. So I decided to go on and research and actually wrote a book on it. It was on the Amazon bestseller list for 5 weeks. I was only aiming for a month, but it stayed on for 5 weeks, which is kind of cool. Not a month, sorry. 1 hour. No, I'm totally mistook. I was aiming for an hour because it's all you need to do to hit the bestseller list. And we stayed on for 5 weeks. But I researched with different marketers and thought leaders to get their perspectives because there's not a whole lot of like tangible data as to why this happens yet. But when I started getting their perspectives, I started realizing like everybody's saying like one thing, but one thing's a different thing. And none of these things exist in a silo, right? So it's all the interconnectedness of all of these pieces and how you look at online courses and how you look at them as they fit into your business. So that's what we've really focused in and fine-tuned our methodology around, you know, how do you get people to learn, but how do you get them to stay, you know, kind of like addicted to it? You know, how do you get them to be like, I'm thirsty to take this course. I'm thirsty to finish it. I'm going to say thirsty. It sounds bad, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I want it so bad. You know, this is the thing. So anyway, so that's where we've kind of gone from there. And I saw a question pop up, but I didn't read it. I was trying to, let me go back around to that.
Are you talking about text and video courses?
So more, online courses, I'd say more video courses, but for me, like I would recommend anybody, and this may be different for fitness and it may not, we can kind of debate that a little bit. I would recommend anybody that's creating an online course to have video, strip the audio, and then have that transcribed so that they have written documentation as well. So that no matter where they are or what they prefer, you've got it. Cause right now we've got like, oh, it's a video course model, like, and that seems to be the thing, but I don't know why it's the only thing, and it's not the only way people learn. But if you give them options, now you've covered your bases and you've made it easier for people to like really get into your space and learn from you regardless of where they're at.
For sure. So, you know, and now we're talking about people like you have a course or you're creating a course. So I'm going to back up a little bit and be like, how do I even know if I want to create a course? Like, where does that hold? Like, before we jump into like, here's a course. Like, like in my industry, right? Like, you know, we talk about wanting to create a course or trying to, in any industry, really trying to find this other revenue stream. Because, you know, with trainers or gym owners, they're capped at what they can do, meaning how many hours they can train. So they're looking for another source of income or need another source of income. And online training is that aspect, but even this whole online course. And so as in like, even in my industry, like, where would someone go? I guess that's question 2, but question 1 is, how do I even know if I'm ready to create a course?
All right, let's start with that. So there's something that I learned from Alfio Bardola, who is a brilliant Italian, he's not a financial advisor. He's more like, kind of like a Robert Kiyosaki, but in Italy, okay? And I worked on his course, and one of the things that I really struck me when I was building out his content was he said, your job is not what you think it is. Your job is not your job. Your job is to make money. And I think that that's something that anybody that's listening, like no matter what field or industry you're in, really need to, if you haven't already had that paradigm shift yet, sit with that for a minute, you know, because so many times we think of our job and we identify as our job. You know, I was a teacher. I create courses. You have a fitness event, right? Like, I don't know, LaShawn was a photographer. Like, we identify with these things, but those things aren't the thing. And those things aren't even the association with money, right? Those things are the things that we do in order to create value, in order to be provided. Sorry, there's a fire department near here and they are active. But they're, you know, those things are the things that we do in order to make money. But that's not it. That's not our actual job. Your job is to make and manage your finances, period. So like start looking for things. Like I can't even tell you how many different side hustles my partner has going on right now, and things like we're getting into the trucking industry too. Like it's just funny, you know, like it's just funny, all these different things that are going on. But it's like when you switch that, and you start looking at it like, what do you want your life to be like? Do you want your life to be, I showed up at work every day and I worked? Or do you want your life to be like, I created a life where I was able to bring joy into my world, right? And I'm not going to tell you that online courses are your only way to create a life where you can bring more joy into your world. I'm not, like, I think that's foolish. But I am going to say it is definitely a powerful way. I'm going to say that it's a proven way. I'm going to say it's a $255 billion industry worth of proven way, right? And I'm going to say, what else are you looking at? If you aren't looking at anything else, then look at this. You know, And take it seriously. It's a serious opportunity. When those gentlemen walked in the bar and told me about online marketing and what could be my life, I was miserable at the time. Just like you, if I put up, like, I'll try to share in the links. I'll do that later. I'll put up a side by side of what I looked like before I met them and what I look like now. And it just like, people are like, oh my God, you look younger. And this was 6 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like 42 now. And I looked miserable 6 years ago. Just like I thought, almost death's door, right? But your life gets so blocked in. And even if you enjoy your job, your life is like, I'm in a day to day, I'm in a day to day, I'm in a day to day. And you just go the thing. And it's like, now I travel when I want to. I travel where I want to. My fiance works with me. We go wherever we want to together, and I don't answer to anybody. I mean, I answer to clients, but I set the parameters of what that looks like even and how they can even get a hold of me, So it's not like I always answer to clients. I don't answer to clients when they call me, if they call at 3:00 in the morning. In fact, none of them do because they know not to. Like, you're in my hours, but like, I've designed my life. And that's what your job is. Your job is to manage your money and manage your finances and make more of it so that you can. Now, online courses are one medium to do it. It's one medium to do it more passively than others. Okay. It's not, I wouldn't say it's completely passive. If you can get things like buy an ATM because that makes money, buy an ATM at a bar, dude. I want to own a parking garage in LA, but I do, man. They charge so much for parking. If I like knocked that down $10 less than everybody else, it would be like a win-win, right? But with online courses, you have a way to offer what you do on a small scale to a lot more people, right? So if you look at it, like, not only is that scaling yourself, right? It's not only just scaling yourself financially, right? And putting yourself in a position that you can make more progressively over time even than you are right now, but it's also, and that you can show up and serve others on a larger scale. You can serve more people in that means. It's the same frustration that I had when I was teaching a class, like one class for a year. Like, if you're doing, if you're teaching an aerobics class, you only have the same people that are coming in. If you're a personal trainer, you have the people that you're working with and the ones that are, you're getting through some sort of traffic means, whether that's walking through your gym or whether you're running ads or whatever. But like, you can only expand to the local, right? To the local scene, because I'm not going to fly to Texas to work out with you, even though I'd love to, right?
Why not?
Dude, I would probably just come to hang out. Okay. But you can serve them differently than you could. Right. So, I mean, that in itself, it's like, that's a beautiful gift. If you have a talent and a gift that you're able to give to others in such a way that it lifts up their life and makes them a better human being, that's your responsibility to give it. You have this calling, and you don't have this calling in such a way that you have to, I would say, suffer or put yourself into a position where you're making whatever the cap is on trainers, right? Am I allowed to curse on this?
Yes.
Okay, that's bullshit. So don't do that. Like, don't do that to yourself. Like, you have a gift to give, and you have a beautiful gift to give. And like, anybody that's in any kind of a fitness industry, everything starts with health, right? If their health isn't working, nothing else is working, right? So you are the foundation of every one of us. And how many people are walking around this country alone obese, morbidly obese?
And it's growing, right? And it's not, it's not getting any better. And so it's definitely, it's understanding, like, we know there's an issue there and we know there's a problem. And I know Sarah had a couple questions, and we'll jump to those questions. And so I guess, like, we know there's a problem. Like, that's such a big problem and a big issue right now. And so for me, wanting to create a course as a fitness professional to help people fight obesity is such a general topic, right? Like, that's, like, how do I niche that down, or how do I bring that down to a topic that speaks to the right market? And then to Sarah's question, retention. Like, how do I, once I produce this course, how do I guarantee myself a high retention?
Absolutely. So, I think there's there's a couple of questions in there.
Ask a lot of questions.
I know. answers are the slaves to questions. That's what LaShawn always says. So like now that you've asked them, I've got to figure out how to answer them. It's so much fun. I'll just do what you say for a couple hours now. So yeah, how do you figure out how to niche down? That's a really good question. So, I mean, you can do market research around it. I've got an entire challenge, and that's not the thing that I was going to give away today, but I'll figure out how to get that link to you later, actually, because there's links involved that I need my partner for. But
let's talk about the one you did. You did send me a link, and I'll show it.
Yeah.
So here's the link right there. Boom.
There you go.
Let's talk about that. So if anyone's watching, clicking on this link will take you to a master class. So let's talk about that master. Like, what is it? What's involved in that?
Yeah. So it's a 3-part video series. Okay. It's not that long. I don't like to take a lot of time, but it is very in depth. Okay. And it's why haven't you created your course yet? Okay. So if you're watching this and you're thinking about it, and you haven't done it yet, there's a thing. There's something that's stopping you. And like, I know I brought it up at your event last year when I got to speak. That was so much fun. But, there's somebody actually in the online fitness space right now that was on the stage at Russell Brunson's event, Funnel Hackers, this was over a year ago, so I don't know what her funnel's like now, but it was like she was $1 million a month.
Oh, is that
Kaylin? Yeah, it's Poulin. I can read it, but I can't say it necessarily. I'll totally mess it up. But yeah, $1 million a month. And it's like hard sometimes when you hear those kinds of numbers. It's like, okay, is that for me? Like, I can't do that. That's for other people. That's, I've even heard my own children, because I'm divorced. So my ex influences them a lot. So I'm like always trying to break bad patterns when they come over. But they'll say things like, oh, that's for fancy people, and I'm like, what's fancy people? And why aren't you that? Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's weird. But, some of us, like, it's hard to imagine $1 million a month, right? It's hard to imagine that. Well, what's an extra $5K a month? What's an extra $10K a month? And even that, there's sometimes a block in there. There's sometimes a thing that's like an unworthiness. There's sometimes a thing that's like a not enoughness. There's sometimes a thing of perfectionism too. Like, I'm going to do it, but I'm only going to do it when I figure out the exact right details at the exact right time, when Mercury's not in Gatorade and the suns are rotating in the right direction, and the planets are aligned and my chakras are perfect and all this stuff. And like, none of that matters. All those things, everything that you set up in front of you, completing it and putting it out to other people, it's all bullshit. It's all excuses. It's all fear. None of it's actually real. So the reason we put that challenge together is, honestly, it's not just for people starting out. Like, when New York Times bestselling authors come to me, they come to me with the same issues that people that are just starting out. Okay. It's the same problem around that. The why haven't you started yet? It always goes back to a lot of the same things. So we've been able to figure that out over time and put it together, because there are very few people, like your friend and mine, Anthony. He's one of the only people that I know that as soon as he has an idea, it's done. It's done. The idea, it's like, okay, I have this idea, and then what do I need to take it? Here you go. And then it's why it's so much fun to work with, because like, as soon as he has it, it's done. Like, he starts taking actions and then you build it. There are ways to get beyond that. And the first thing to do, like, if you're really looking at getting beyond that, yes, the challenge I put together, get in that. But the other thing is, put up a landing page. Put up a landing page. And if you're not familiar with that terminology, go to Instapage. You're going to make an offer. You're going to decide, I have something worthy to sell another human being. That's it. Putting up the landing page is you saying that to yourself. It's saying, I am worthy to collect a credit card number. I have something that I'm going to offer to do that. And when you put that up, you start crafting your offer. And what you're doing crafting your offer, it's not finding the perfect offer. It's testing an offer, which is a different mindset. Finding the perfect offer is searching for the Holy Grail. It's like, did you watch that movie, the Indiana Jones and the Lost Crusade? We were quoting it this morning. I forgot what LaShawn was saying, but the penitent man will kneel, or something like that. But anyway, so it's that the perfect offer doesn't exist, really. Nobody's got it. They're testing it. And they'll tell you, even the people that are like doing really, really well with their offers, they're still testing it. They're still trying to figure it out. You know, I was talking to a company that was doing 100 mil annually in online course sales, and they had a 3.9% completion rate. So they got marketing down, but as far as keeping the people in that they could sell to again after that, that's not down yet. You know, so like don't think that the people are ahead of you that are any kind of better. They've just done it. That's all they've done. So like if nothing else, if you do nothing else today, instapage.com, I think it's $79 a month, pay the fee, create a landing page and put it out there and see if people buy. Because one of the things that you could do, and one of the things that a lot of people do, is they start asking, right? And there's a brilliant man named Ryan Levesque that wrote The Ask Method, and it's a gosh darn like beautiful book. You've got it. You heard me on Anthony's thing yesterday.
I know it's one of your favorite books. So I'm like,
one of my favorites. It's so good. Like I geeked out so hard. Somebody asked me if I've ever fangirled over anybody. And I'm like, yeah, I totally fangirled over Pat Flynn, but I haven't met Ryan Levesque yet. And I bet if I did, I would, just because I love that book and I love how his brain works. But in the book, he says, like, if you're going to ask people what you should create, he says a couple of things, like basically statistically, you need a sample size representative of the population, but in layman's terms, you need enough people. If you don't ask enough people, where it's a large enough sample, then you don't know if what you're creating is actually the thing. And he says, like, you can have a big list, you can borrow a big list, or you can run ads. And that's his recommendations in there. But instead, people are posting on their Facebook pages, hey guys, what should I create? And then like their aunt, and their cousin, and their sister, and the guy they used to skateboard with in high school are answering. And like, no, those aren't the people that buy. You want to take their credit cards. And here's the thing. If you decide that you don't want to make it, you can refund. Mm-hmm. You can refund right away. Like, hey, only 3 people decided they wanted to buy it. It's not enough for me to make it. Let me test another offer, create another landing page, give them their money back. Like, it is okay to go through a lot of iterations like that before you actually build anything. That's fine. And, you know, in the fitness space, you can do a membership site instead of a direct online course. So you're just creating little bitty content all the time, and it's not that big of a deal, you know, and you get them for you get them to give you like a $47 a month, you know, fee or something. And so they're continuing with you. Maybe the first month is free. If they stay on, the second month is $47. And if they want to do the whole year, they're paying annually, and you cut off some of the money for it. But you still get a lump up front. You know, you make it easier on them to want to come in and join you. But like, yeah, I mean, maybe you're trying to solve like a particular problem, not like create a particular like course per se, but like if you just did something for people with bad knees, you know what I mean? How many people have bad knees?
A lot.
I'm going to show you everything that you can do that will help your knees, you know? Like if you told me you could fix my Achilles heel so that I could stretch my hamstrings, I'd be interested in that, you know, and be like, okay, I don't know if that's $1,000 a month problem, but that might be a $15 a month problem because I want to be able to do a sitting forward bend. Like, and I can do like everything else but that. So, you know, people have specific problems, and as a professional, you've seen them all. Like you can't tell me you're not a master at your craft. You can't tell me you haven't seen people come through the gym after gym after gym with like each individual thing, you know how to think about it. And getting back to that researching, start seeing what else is out there. Start seeing how they're laying it out. Start seeing how they're crafting their offers. Don't copy anybody directly, but like figure out what already is working and then do it. Do your version.
And you have a really unique way and you and I have talked about this before. You use Amazon. And,
yeah.
And can you talk, because a lot of it is, you know, obviously it's one, finding that topic, but then finding a topic that's actually going to sell, right? Yes. So you teach going to Amazon. Can we talk about that? Like, what's the Amazon method that you use?
Yes.
Amazon method. What do you use?
I will talk about that. And that is in the second challenge too. So if you opt into the first challenge, you'll get the second challenge automatically. And if you're in Khaled's list, I'll just give you the link later on so you can send that to them as well. But so you can get a more detailed, like there's a more detailed method of doing this. But yeah, I do research on Amazon. So I'll go to Amazon and I'll type in whatever it is that I want to do a course on. Okay. And that this doesn't come from me, guys. Like nothing I do comes from me. Like my entire process is based on 500 research studies. So that should probably tell you a little bit something about my personality. But this comes from like old school internet marketers, like the OGs of it, the people that found me in the bar. Like we're talking like that level of like, I've been around this since 97, y'all. But okay. So you go to Amazon and you type in what you want to do a course on, and then you look like, okay, am I getting, is there anything coming up? Let's just start with that. Is there anything coming up? If there's nothing coming up, that's not the topic. And the reason that's not the topic if nothing is coming up is because nobody's buying that. If they were buying it, I bet you somebody would already have made that thing. Okay. And that's not that you don't want to be an innovator, but being an innovator is a lot harder than just like, doing something that other people are doing. And think about it this way. Like if you fish, how many fishing poles do you have?
Quite a few.
If you cook, how many cookbooks do you have? I have like 25 cookbooks, a stack of recipes, and on cards, guys. Like that's how old I am. No, on cards from like when I went to college. Okay. And then I have like the Food Network saved on my phone so that I can find things fast. I don't stop devouring content related to the thing that I love doing. And if they're searching for answers or they're searching for their problem solved, they're not going to stop either until they get their problem solved. So they're still thirsty for it. If people are building content for it, they're putting it out. That means there's an audience in some form or another. Now, when you look at these books, you want to start looking at which ones of them have the most reviews. Okay. You want to look for lots of reviews. If they have lots of reviews, those are the reviews you want to kind of dig into, right? Because if a book only has 3 reviews or something, it's not meaty enough, right? And you want to look at the 3-star reviews. Because like a 5-star review, it's probably their friend going, good job putting your book out. The 1-star review, they had a bad day or something, and you don't know how many other bad days they have. So don't do those. Like look at the 3-star reviews. There's actually been research that suggests, and I think this is Harvard Business Review, but I could be wrong, that suggests that 3-star reviews are the most honest reviews. And when you start reading them, you start looking at it and like digging into the content and going, okay, they will tell you in a 3-star reviews what they liked and what they didn't like. And it's perfect because you start looking for holes in content on that. It's like, okay, they really wanted me to talk more about this. They really wanted the author to go in a little bit deeper here. Or, yeah, they really found that this information wasn't necessary. And you can start seeing that. And it takes some reading, guys. None of this is like, there's no magic pill, right? I think Anthony was saying it yesterday. Like, I have a formulaic method to make $1 million in 1 second without any work. Click. Nobody's got that answer. So what I'm telling you is what you need to do. What I'm telling you is you probably give it an hour. And I promise you, Ozark just came out. I'm sure a bunch of you are going to be watching an hour worth of Ozark on TV.
I've actually never seen it.
Never?
Never.
There's something wrong with you. No, just watch one episode. Right. Just one episode and you will crush the series. It's that good.
The minute I find something, I have to power through it.
Oh my God. It's so good. I'm like that with a lot of things, but then like I won't watch TV forever. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is out. Crush it. But anyways, there's a gazillion things you could give an hour to, right? Which one is going to make you money? Right? What's your job again? Back to what we talked about earlier. What's your job? Your job is to make and manage money. It is not what you think your job is. So what are you giving your hours to? Right? So go on, hop on, look at it. If you want to wait for the training on it, you can do that also. Khaled will have that link later. But, you start digging into those reviews and reading them. And you really start looking at it and going, okay, I know they're speaking to me. They're speaking to me and they're telling me what they want and what they don't want in this course. And you can hear it in their language. And it's just a really beautiful gift. So you start looking at that and, writing everything down and kind of extrapolating and then going on from there. Like start looking at, who else is in the space and what else are they doing and how are they putting it out,
And so for you, so let's say we've done all that, right? So we've gone on Amazon and we've looked at the 3-star reviews. We've extracted what people are asking for in like, I wish this course had more of this or whatever it is. And we've built out our course. So how do you measure the results of those who completed the course or an online, is there like a completion, application, right? I completed it, but then to Sarah's question, that doesn't really create successful application? Like, how do you measure that?
Oh, is it set? Okay, so I was reading hers a little differently.
This one right here. I just posted.
Yeah. How do you measure the results? And okay. Yeah. So, right. So that's about how you set the course up. That's not about what the course is. So like what you're saying is if they go through and they watch the videos, that doesn't mean anything. Correct. Correct. So you've got to think as the course creator, what are you doing to make them apply it? Now adults are self-selected learners, which is a beautiful thing, right? Because I want to be a self-selected learner. I don't want to jump hoops. I want to get what I need to get and then get on, with my life and everything else I got going on. But when I'm coming to you and I want this problem solved, I'm going to dive in, right? So it's your responsibility to only look at those that are going to do it, not to think about, oh, they're not going to do it anyways. What are you going to do for those that are going to do it, right? And so you're really thinking about what kind of activities can you put in place so that they do. And I promise you this right here is your gift. I don't know if my notifications are showing up, but it's your gift because there's a calendar on everybody's phone. We are all attached to calendars. And a calendar, like when you put something in your calendar, it means it's going to be done. If it's not in the calendar, it's not going to be done for sure. Yep. So every notification or everything that you have for an application component, you say, okay, go ahead and put in your calendar over the next 3 days. You're going to do X, Y, Z at this time. And then you're going to write your results down here, whatever it is. I mean, that's such a really simple way to do it. But you can have calendar notifications that pop up every day. You can have calendar notifications that pop up every Monday at noon. Like whatever it is, you can have them put it in their phone so that you've got like a deeper sense of, I've done what I can to make sure that they apply it, right? Because there's no way to you can't get them to do it. Now, when we build out courses with our one-on-one clients, we also build out Facebook bot sequences to go with them. So what we're doing is we're taking whatever tech is available and going, okay, we're going to use this to our advantage. And so for those that are familiar, and this is super advanced, but kind of going with what Sarah's saying, Facebook Messenger bots, people can automate messages to you inside your Facebook Messenger, which you're going to open more likely than you're going to open an email. So my email open rates vary around 20%, usually 20, 25 max. My Facebook Messenger open rates are 89 to 100%. Wow. So if I want to get at the people taking my course, I have them opt in with their sequence word at the start of the course. And then I send them reminders and tasks and things that I want them to do. And I have them report back to me on those things. So again, this is for our advanced clients. But did you do X? Yes, no. Yes has a response, no has a response. And it's automated. So I'm not in there going, oh, hi, did you do it? But it's still coming to them and they're still feeling like somebody's caring, watching, supporting, paying attention to. And that's in a way that you don't actually even have to be present with. Now, I mean, you could add a coaching component to your course also if you wanted to. If you wanted to, you could do a live office hours. You can even take roll during your office hours. There's nothing wrong with that. And messaging the people that didn't show, hey, I noticed you weren't there. Is everything okay? You come in next week. Okay, cool. See you then. Just to say, I still care about you. Yeah. Right? Not in a way of nobody likes that,
I think with it comes down to this whole the experience, right? Because you gotta look at so many. I see it on my Facebook timeline, everyone's creating courses and everyone's trying to, so it's almost to Sarah's point, what's going to differentiate you from the next person that's creating a course? And it may not be in the content because some of that content may be the same. It may be in the delivery of the content, but more importantly, it's what's happening after that content's been delivered. What's the accountability and the communication between me as the content creator and you, the person absorbing the content. I think that's what's going to set people apart, especially in an industry like mine where, or even even the personal development industry, everyone in that industry, so many people in that industry are creating this, how to live a better life. Well, everyone's talking about that. So it's that, I think it's that next step of a messenger bot. I think you guys use ManyChat.
ManyChat. Yeah. Super easy. It's not expensive. It's yeah. I can do it. I'm not techie. I can do a lot of things, but I'm not.
You're very smart, so
I'm smart, but I'm not techie. I can do it.
Wait, like it's just gonna be it's gonna be like the text messaging, or but again, all that takes so much of your time. So it comes down to how do you automate some of that stuff so that it still feels like it's a real person, but you're not spending hours upon hours having to reach out to everybody. And I think that's what's going to set one content or one course apart from the other course.
Well, don't ever negate the power of you. Like you are different than anybody else on the planet. You are you. And there is somebody that is going to be drawn to you for you. Now, if you're an asshole, that's different. But there are people that like that too. I just don't work with them. That's the thing. Like people are going to want to be near you, And so as far as a differentiator, you've always got one. You've always got that. You always have your story. If you look back at why you do what you do, there's a reason. I work with a lot of chiropractors, it seems. And most chiropractors, when you listen to their story, it was like, I had some health emergency. And then all of a sudden I discovered chiropractic for myself. And then I wanted to go save lives,
for sure.
And it's like, that's still really powerful. Like I can hear that and go, that's really powerful. And I start to connect to that. But the stories are still different for each one of them, whatever the health emergency was and how that impacted them and their family and what they went through as a result. Like if you look at why you became a personal trainer, really think about that. And I don't want to steal any content from Chris Smith and the Campfire Effect. I would say go check his work out if you're trying to figure out that, because he's amazingly gifted at it. But your story is powerful. There are a lot of things about you that are so much more powerful than the strategy, and so much so that I would say there's competition. So what does it matter? If somebody can make $1 million a month on a funnel, then there's space for it. There's space for it. I want to say health and fitness is the top 5 industries online in the online business space. Top five performing. I think I got that from, I don't remember, TNC one year or something. I don't know who I was talking to, but yeah, don't cite me. Anyways, but it's still if you start thinking about that, it comes back down to that Marianne Williamson quote. It's not who are you? It's who are you not to? Geez, aren't you here to have a beautiful life? Aren't you here to have more joy in your life? Aren't you here to make an impact on others and help them? If you're already a healer in some way, which if you're a trainer, you are, you know what you're here for, then you just need to show up and do it bigger.
I love it.
Yeah, man. You thought you were getting courses. You're not.
Right?
We're going someplace else, Khaled.
That's part of the show. I think, it's one of those things where I think your message is I think I heard it. Where did I hear it? I heard it at an event. Your mess is your message. And for me, when I created Rise, that came out of being someone at 5 who never fit in and felt alone and wanted to be a part of something and never felt like I could because I was an immigrant. I didn't speak English and I wasn't born here. So I was yearning for something. And yet here, 5 years ago, I created an event that brought people together, that serves a purpose, that connected people. And that came out of that mess when I was 5. That now is my message of why I have this event. So I think it's and same thing for you. You came from that teacher seeing something in you and teaching you and working with you.
I don't know how.
and being able to take that and now instill that into others and helping them showing them what you've learned to help educate others. I think your story becomes a part of your. I think the two are intertwined. Your story and your business are as one. And I think so many times, especially in fitness, we see them as two separate things because we're afraid to share our story. And I realized a couple of years ago, once I started sharing that, at one point I weighed 320 pounds. And,
dude, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And this was while I was in the industry as a fitness manager. I just kind of let my weight get out of control, and I ended up losing 65 pounds, and like, and now I now when I see somebody who's 50, 60 pounds overweight, I know what they're feeling because I was there, and I share that story, and that just becomes so powerful. I love it, Carrie. We can keep going on forever, and I know we've been on here for almost an hour, but hey, I want to definitely respect your time, and there's a thunderstorm coming through, so it's about to get loud in here.
Yay! That's a party.
Right? Where can people find you, get a hold of you? And I'll link everything up again, but where can people go?
Yeah. So if you want to know why you haven't really started your online course yet, Khaled is going to drop a link for you to check out. So you can check out that free training that we have for you. And it is, I had somebody message me that's a friend of mine, was like, oh my God, that was the most amazing thing. Like, I almost cried. I was like, whoa. Okay. So it's like, it's pretty powerful stuff. Enjoy. But yeah, like really dive into it, because if you haven't brought your light to the world yet and you're still waiting for your permission, then it's pretty much time to write your slip, you know? So anyways, check that out. If you want to find us also, you can go to www.course.us, like United States, or Dr. Carrie Rose on Instagram. I hang out there, and Facebook. Either or is fine. So
I love it. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope we delivered. I know Carrie delivered so much value. I love bringing you on. I know this is like the first time I've had you on.
I know, it's fun. I love it.
If you have any questions, please reach out. There's the link. Get on there. Go through that three-part video series. Otherwise, I will see y'all next week for another episode of Rise Up the Show. Have a great day, everybody.